Guys, welcome to the stream. I've just really had a hilarious fucking error. Sorry to swear, but I thought I went live about 10 minutes ago, didn't go live. Okay, I'm still in the incubation of me doing live stuff properly. But welcome to the channel.
Hello, is it me you're looking for?
Hopefully it is me that you're looking for. I'm going to have a few guests on, but before I get them on, please hit the like on the possibility that the video will be good. And if not, I've got to have Tyrese beg on my behalf. Please hit that like.
Please! Please! No!
But yeah, the stream is talking about Man United's big round of 16 first leg game with Barcelona. It's going to be a big one. And I've got a few guests coming on. I've got my man Josh. Finally, you're on live. Let's do the take two. How you doing, bro?
Not bad, man. Nice to be on here, finally. Got on the football waffle, so glad to be here.
Cool, man. Thanks for sparing your time. And my man, Red Devil Studio, who actually did acknowledge that I wasn't live before. This guy's experienced, so he saw I wasn't live. I clicked the button to go live.
Yeah.
And for some reason, it tried to confirm with me again. But, you know,
I see. I'm with you. No worries. I thought we were doing some sort of pre-recorded thing. I was like, I'm fairly sure it was a live show. So I just wanted to confirm. But no, we're all good. We're all good.
Thanks for sparing your time, bro. But let me get to the comments again. Let's see who's in here. Bill Baggio. Hit the free like, do it. It's free. Like I said at the start of the video, man, it's cost you nothing. Hit that like. Big up to Bobby K getting in here. Big up to Red Devil TV, man. He does some good previews and reactions, so subscribe to him. And I'll go through what Bart was saying about Liverpool again. They got a win. I mean, they weren't up against a good Everton side, man. They capitalized on mistakes. It wasn't that good. We were actually on Red Devil Studios talking about that yesterday. So, Red Devil, I'm come on, man. Liverpool are not really coming back, are they, to beat Madrid?
I'm not saying anything because stranger things have happened in football. So I'm keeping my eyes closed and just observing. So we'll see what happens. Because I cannot for life of me call Liverpool. I can't call Liverpool Madrid. I can't call this Barca United game, and I can't call even Milan Spurs because the teams feel like they're in similar situations. And on a Champions League night, just anything can go, like a mistake or, you know, momentum in the home crowd. You just don't know.
Yeah, but I was saying to Josh earlier that this team, man, Real Madrid, they've got more individual brilliance. I was saying they've got the likes of Vinicius, Kroos, Modric. They're still cooking, whilst, you know, Liverpool have the likes of Henderson who's burning out, Fabinho burning out. They don't have the midfield still. So Josh, yeah, man, what chances are you giving Liverpool to come back against the likes of Madrid?
Well, yes, like what Red Devil said, it's a tough one to call, but both teams with poor form. But in that same breath, both teams have the quality to score at any moment. You know, so it's a two-legged tie. Liverpool, despite how terribly they've been playing, I saw against Everton, you had Salah, Nunez, Firmino, Jota, so they do have the majority of their attacking options back at their disposal. So, you know, with that being said, of course, you know, they've always got a chance. They've got experience of winning, you know, a couple of years ago as well. So definitely will be an interesting one.
Yeah. Like I was saying before, when I thought we were live, this is actually a Barcelona versus Man United preview. So we're going to get into what the banner says there. We're going to talk about some of the best historical moments between these teams in terms of goals. And yeah, before we were live, Josh was mentioning that classic Rooney goal against Barcelona in the Champions League final in 2011. Great goal. Talk us through that.
Love that goal. One of my favorite all-time Rooney goals. In that moment, you know, getting attacked by one of the greatest teams ever, go 1-0 down, and to come out with that goal in the final gave me goosebumps at the time. So couldn't pull it out, but still, never forget that goal.
We couldn't pull it out, man. Like I was saying, man, I had a bet at that time when I was back in my days of being addicted to gambling. Hopefully, people that are watching, don't gamble. Don't gamble. It's not the way to go, man. Most of the time, you're going to be in the negative zone trying to chase back your profit, and it doesn't work. But I had a £50 bet. When I saw Rooney get the equaliser, I thought, okay, we're going to go on. Even though we had the likes of Ryan Giggs, 40 years old in midfield, Park Ji-sung against the likes of like what Josh was saying before, a prime Barcelona team with Iniesta and Xavi, Messi, all of these guys were cooking. But yeah, like you were saying, Josh, man, we couldn't really be too harsh on ourselves, man. They're the better team. So yeah, man, we were just unlucky to lose 3-1, I guess, man. But yeah, Red Devil, you mentioned the goal that we were talking about before.
Oh, yes. I mean, the only one that really, if I'm honest, comes to mind, just because of how significant it was the Scholes goal against Barcelona semi-final, road to Moscow, man. And that was the second leg, Old Trafford. And Scholes, I think it was in the first, must have been in the first 20 minutes. And Scholes, and it was the only goal out of the two legs, but Scholes just smashed it in from long range. And when I saw that, I was literally like, what just happened? What just happened? Did poor Scholes do that? Bearing in mind, obviously, you know, him, bearing in mind that he was coming obviously towards the end of his career, if not at the end of his career. And he was one of our best players in that run as well. So to score that goal was fantastic. And that, I think that performance, when I was like, it gave me the confidence to think maybe United actually might win this Champions League. And obviously they did go on to win the Champions League. So yeah, that goal against Barcelona, that semi-final goal is arguably the best in my opinion.
It was beautiful. And Josh, what were you saying? What did Scholes say when he came out
about? Again, not to rain in your parade, Red Devil, but Scholes did say that was actually a miss hit, that volley. So, you know, as great of a goal as it was, he did say it was a miss hit, but what a perfect way to miss hit the ball.
Exactly. You know? I'll say this is the thing. Scholes was a talented footballer that his miss hits always produce magic. You know what I mean? You know, so like, you can't say that about a lot of midfielders currently.
It was surprising that he would come out and say that, because like I was saying before, this guy was a gunslinger in terms of long-range shots, man. It was his specialty. So, you know what I mean? I think sometimes you got to pride and just say, okay, I'm going to come out, I'm just going to basically lie and say I meant to do that technique, especially when you've got the reputation of long-range goals. But I've got the clip. Let's relive some nostalgia.
That is for Scholes. Scholes hits one! Oh, what a goal! Paul Scholes has produced one from the top drawer just when United needed it. What a goal from Paul Scholes!
Absolute beauty, man. Absolute beauty. Yeah, people in the comments, get in your memorable goals as well, man, because we're gonna just discuss a few more memorable moments. So we can't just be biased in terms of just like focusing on Man United's goals. What goals on Barcelona's side do you guys remember that were, you know, where you just had to bow down and just put respect to Barcelona? I'll start with you, Red Devil.
What's that? Do you hear that? I thought that was something.
Yeah, it's gone now. What?
Okay. Jesus, interesting. I mean, basically, when Messi tore us a new one, when Messi tore us a new one, in 2000, I said 2009, I think 2009, if I recall, 2000, but I think it was 2009 when Messi just tore us a new one. That was for me. That was when, because we, you know, if it wasn't for Messi, United potentially could have had 2 more UCLs. Definitely, I think 1, because the 09 final, in my opinion, was a lot closer than the 11 one. It was just night and day, and we had an aging squad in the 2011 final. But in 2009, I legit think that we could have potentially beaten Barcelona final. They just had Messi. they just had Messi. Like that's the only reason. And there's no coincidence that Pep Guardiola has yet to win any more Champions Leagues post Barcelona not having Messi, you know. So I can't even remember the specific goals that how he scored them. All I remember is Messi destroyed us. That's literally what I remember, because he was so good. That final for me announced Lionel Messi to the world. That's when people were like, whoa, this guy is good. This guy is ridiculous. And obviously went on to do what he did, you know.
Yeah. I was just trying to remember as well, because I've got a clip of one of Messi's goals, and it was actually the one where he got the header against us. I don't know if I think that was 2011 or 9.
I think that was 11.
I believe it was 2009. He scored the brace, didn't he?
Yes,
the header and then the left foot shot as well.
Right. I just really remember the header because obviously Lionel Messi, 700 goals. He's not really known for the headers. Like, can you guys actually remember how many headed goals he's got?
Not many.
It's actually 24. 24 headed
24,
goals.
wow.
Yeah. I mean, the one he scored against us, where we had like Ferdinand and Vidic defending, I was like, that's the first headed goal I saw. And I was like, if Messi's scoring headers against us, yeah, we don't. It's over. It's game over. Because I think we were 1-0 down in that final, and obviously 1-0 down, you're still in with a chance. But when Messi's scoring headers for 2-0, I was like, game over. Let me play the clip, man. So that was actually 2011. Messi, Henry up front. That broke my heart when I saw that, man. Smallest guy on the pitch.
Yeah, exactly. How does he jump that high to head the ball in there? I don't know what Rio was doing. But the thing is, that's what I'm saying. In 2011, let's keep it a stack. Our team was washed. Our team was washed in 2011. And I credit United getting to that final more towards Sir Alex Ferguson than I do to the team having like equality. Barcelona, even before the final, were a better team. In 2009, I think we were a lot more even, and I think Messi was just the difference.
I'd have to add Iniesta in there as well, Red Devil. So Iniesta at that time was, unreal. I think Rooney at the time as well. I can't remember what year, maybe 2008, or maybe it was after the final. Rooney came out and said Iniesta's the best player in the world. So I'd have to, alongside Messi, I'd have to put Iniesta at that time. He was magician.
Yeah, I disagree with that.
Right, is there any more goals you remember, Josh, that was like iconic? That Barcelona?
Yeah, well, I'll talk about a more recent one. As a Messi fan, which I'm sure we all are. 2019 quarterfinals when he got the cheeky little nutmeg on Fred, and then wrapped it in the bottom left-hand corner.
Oh yeah.
That goal was it was a filthy one, wasn't it?
That was a dirty goal, man. I think
that was easier to swallow than the goals he scored against us in the final, because obviously we weren't in a good state at that point, so we could just enjoy Messi in that moment.
See, that's where sometimes you just gotta like dig into the fact that you're a football fan. Sometimes just admire a magician at work, even though obviously it's against our team. Sometimes you just gotta put respect on him, man. But everyone in the comments, keep getting in. What goals you remember? Big up to one of my boys whose channels I've been on recently, Football Power Hour. Yes, that Messi header still gives me nightmares, man. I think it might have been like his first headed goal that he scored, but I'm not sure. But smallest guy on the pitch doing that was hurtful, man. That was hurtful. Bill Baggio saying, "Who's my favorite goal versus Barca Cup Winners' Cup final?" See, that's going back before my time. I don't know if any of you guys know of this goal. Hughes.
I can remember that one.
Yeah, classic stuff, man. Bill, thanks for mentioning that. But let's come back to some of Man United's more memorable goals. I'll start off. I remember when we had Barcelona in 99. When we had Barcelona in 99, and we won
99
treble. Say that again.
Yeah, 98, 99. Yeah,
99. It was a strange group stage because I think Man United won 2 and then drew 4. That's a lot of games to draw. And the goal I'm thinking about was Andy Cole's goal at the new camp where he did the 1-2 with York. Beautiful, man. The score ended 3-3. That was one of the best goals I've seen, and that's what made me fall in love with like having two forwards up front. And I've ever since then, like when we see like a lot of teams play 4-2-3-1, I don't like how the forward at the top gets isolated, man. I love the link up between a partnership up front. Let me play the goal.
Well left by York, fed by Cole. Back to Andy Cole from Dwight York. Fantastic goal for Manchester United. 8 minutes of the second half gone. Andy Cole the scorer. The combination between Cole and York was out of this world.
Absolute beautiful goal, man. Beautiful. See, that's how you need to be playing against top teams, man. Quick transition, quick 1-2s. So I don't know if you... Yeah, go on.
Yeah, you can't defend that, can you?
Absolutely unplayable, man. I don't know if you guys have any other goals that you're thinking of that were iconic in terms of Man United scoring.
Nothing more for you. Just to touch on Messi's header again, though. There was a lot of talk before that final about Messi being smaller and how he was weak in the air. And after he scored that header, he held his boot. I don't know if you guys remember as he ran off and celebrated. You know, as if to say, you know, as if to stick it to all the critics and all the doubters.
Oh, yeah, I remember that. Yeah.
Just make it even more. Yeah, but it was devastating, though. In the moment, that was heartbreaking.
That was a devastating goal. But yeah, people in the comments keep getting in what goals you remember. Yo, big up to the Vujinator getting in. Bruce header, 7 minutes into added time versus Wednesday. Yeah, we're talking about goals, you know, that Man United has scored versus Barcelona as well. So if you can get that in as well, Vujinator, that would be good. We can talk about that. But everyone keep hitting the like button for the free content. I got a few more clips to play, maybe one more clip to play. And that is, we've got to talk about another Barcelona goal. And yeah, it was in the 2011 final, man. I think it's the one where we lost 3-1, I think it was. And it was the David Villa goal. We were still in the game before that goal. I think it was 2-1. And yeah, I don't think we were in a position where we would, you know, actually forcing Barcelona back. We were hanging on. And we were trying to defend, but Barcelona, we were their tiki-taka. They just kept coming forward. And when Villa got the goal, man, oh man, broke my heart, man. Let me play it. Yeah, that was one of the best finesse shots I've seen. Red Devil. I don't know if you remember that goal, man. But what were your thoughts before? I don't know if you remember how you were feeling before the game at 2-1. Were you thinking we could even come back before that goal?
No. I remember in 2011, I remember thinking like, I remember not having a lot of faith in the team for the specific reason that like, I was like this, because remember, Sir Alex Ferguson retired in the 2012-2013 season. So this was like really to a lot of these, like I was looking at the team and thinking like, and ironic enough, I think my fears were realized because obviously when Sir Alex Ferguson was that like, I was looking at this team needs another rebuild, essentially, is what I was thinking going to the final. Like we're on the cusp of a rebuild. But in the end, obviously Sir Alex Ferguson decided to go with signing Van Persie to kind of just get a bit more out of the team, which was fine, I guess, initially, because we won the Premier League. But in the long run, like, you know, we've not really recovered since because David Moyes was left with a team that needed a rebuild and he didn't get it, and we obviously spiraled worse and worse. So yeah, I was probably one of the few United fans that actually thought in 2011 specifically that we'd be lucky to do something against Barcelona. Barcelona, I think people forget, Barcelona at the time was just too good. Messi, I think in that season, I don't know if it was the 2011-2012 season, so this particular season, or it might have been the season before, where he scored like 90 goals. I have a feeling this. I think it was this season. I could be wrong, but this was like Messi, like basically, like I said, and he announced himself in 2009. He was officially world class in 2011. You know, it was so, and of course, like I said, the Spanish national team, which a lot of players have played for Barcelona, had just won the World. Because they won the World Cup in 2010, didn't they? I think that's the World Cup. Oh yeah, Messi scored them in 2013. Yeah, so around there is what I'm saying. So the point I'm trying to make, Holm, is that like this was a Barcelona side that had World Cup winners, recent World Cup winners, and then on top of that, they had Messi, who was basically on fire and going to be on fire because obviously in 2013 he scored a 90-goal season. So yeah, I know that sounds pessimistic, but I recognize class when I saw it, and you know we were second best.
Yeah, man. I mean, you got to be real at the end of the day. I don't think
40-year-old Giggs is not going to do anything. He's not going to do anything in midfield. 40-year-old Giggs is not going to do anything. So.
Well, I've got another comment from the Vucinator. Like, I really wish that I could have watched some more of these classic goals, but before my time. Vucinator, senior gentleman, saying Robbo's and Stapleton goals. Commentator, it's a glorious night for Manchester United, man. I'm going to have to go back, educate myself some of these classic moments, man. Just relive the nostalgia. But yeah, the show must go on. We've got to get into some of the technical analysis, man, in terms of this game right here. First leg, round of 16 at the new camp. It's going to be a very big test for Man United. And obviously the question is the Europa League important? Okay. We've seen that Man United have quite a lot of injuries and suspensions. So it's a question of whether Man United can actually take this game seriously. Like, I would have loved to see us be fresh for this game, because when you're playing the likes of Barcelona, yeah, we've seen that they're resurgent since coming out of the Champions League. People will say, oh, yeah, they're not a good team because, you know, they didn't do well against Bayern Munich and all of them guys. But we've seen them in the league right now. They're pretty much going to win the La Liga. They're 8 points ahead. I'm going to get into some of their stats that they've got going. But, yeah, I wanted this to be the game where we have our top team. Because think about it, okay? When you play in the Premier League, compared to playing against a big European team like Barcelona, yeah, you got to look at the factors of Man United are traveling to a big venue like the new camp. Like, think about it. I think the capacity is, what is it, like 80,000, 100,000? It's like the Colosseum. It's massive. So it's very intimidating to play in venues like this, you know. They're on form. I think they're unbeaten in about, 16 games. But like I said, man, we got so many injuries, man. Let me bring up what injuries and suspensions that we have, man. It's not looking good, man. Like, I'm gonna go through Barcelona's injuries, but got to look at ours first, man. Let me get rid of this banner. Donny van de Beek, we've got a lot of injuries in midfield. Donny van de Beek out. Christian Eriksen, Scott McTominay. I don't think we're missing. I mean, I think we might miss his energy a little bit, but not really quality. The likes of Martial is out. Yeah, Lisandro Martinez, come on, man, he's one of the best defenders we have, and he's out. Marcel Sabitzer. By the way, why are Champions League suspensions carried on into Europa League?
The same organization competition. So yeah, it carries over.
Still a different competition, though, Red Devil. Like, you should just ignore that, man.
It's the same thing with the FA. How the red card carries over into cup competitions, EFL and FA Cup. So that's why what's it called again? The Newcastle guy got the red card. People saying, "Oh, he's going to be suspended for the final." He's not going to be suspended for the final because he's just been suspended. The midfielder, yes, Bruno, Newcastle's midfielder, not Bruno. Guimaraes, yeah. So Newcastle played 3 games without him, and obviously his free suspension carries over, so he'll be fit. He'll be able to play the final against United. So yeah, that's
I just don't agree with that. I just think hopefully they change it where it's just you keep those cards for that separate competition. Yeah, because obviously I'm being biased towards Man United. We would have had Sabitzer in midfield where I think we would have stood. Obviously, we would have stood a bit more of a chance because we're going to have probably the likes of Fred in there.
It'll be
Obviously,
Casemiro, Fred, Bruno. That's the
Casemiro
top lineup. It can't be anything else other than those three. I think that we have no other midfielders.
Yeah, and then obviously Barcelona, not many people missing. I mean, Dembele, I heard he was a really good winger for these guys this season, but he's out. Sergio
Wait,
Busquets, who's
is
the captain,
Araujo suspended? Is Araujo suspended?
Yeah, I wish he was for this competition. Can you see real closely? It says like the La Liga.
La Liga. Ah, yes.
I think it's just for La Liga.
Yeah, okay, that makes sense.
I wish, you know what? I'm just going to double talk now. I'm going to contradict myself. I wish that carried over into the Europa League because he's one of the best defenders. Josh, I don't know if you've watched Araujo, man. This guy, obviously, he's not as good as Varane, but I've seen Varane traits in him. The way he can recover to defend, a lot of speed, can read the game.
He's definitely emerging, isn't he, as one of the top young centre backs in world football. Key to Barca's recent defensive success. He's got all the attributes you'd want: strength, speed, strong in the air, strong in the tackle, strong in the ball. So, he's got all the attributes that you'd want, as a linchpin for your defense. So, yeah, he's definitely been big for them this season in terms of Barca's form. I'm sitting right now currently top of the Liga. So, yeah, Araujo, very, very strong defender, very strong young defender. Dembele as well. I wasn't aware that Dembele was injured. I think for us, that's huge. 1-on-1, there's very few players in the world that can rival Dembele. At any point, any moment he wants, he can destroy you and create a chance and score a goal. So, I think that's big for us. And our chances that Dembele won't be available for that game. So, obviously, unfortunate for him, but positive for us.
Exactly, man. People in the comments, keep getting in your likes, obviously. Big up to Luan France getting in here. Hi, everyone. Yeah, man, thanks for watching. Aaron, like I said, I've got to try and make you a mod before because you were asking for 17 likes. People, I appreciate the support. Keep getting in those likes. Big up to Bill Badger again, talking to Bart. So we've really got to get into the head-to-head form stats, man. Like I was saying, man, Barcelona right now, man, they're really on fire with their form at the top of their league. I did have a slide which was showing the form. Let's see if I've got it here. Just give me a second. Wow. I did have a slide which was showing the head-to-head for Barcelona and Man United. So just bear with me anyway. Everyone, keep getting your questions in. I'm going to highlight the questions, and we'll get to them later. But in terms of Barcelona's form, it's incredible. And like I was saying earlier, Barcelona unbeaten in 16 games, won 14, drawn 2. But Man United's form is also good as well. The last 16 games, won 13, drawn 2, lost 1. Barcelona scored 34 and only conceded 11 goals. And Man United have actually scored more, scored 36 and only conceded 1 more than Barcelona. Conceded 12. In terms of clean sheets, similar clean sheets. Barcelona 9 and Man United 8. And in terms of the head-to-head form of Man United playing Barcelona in the last 10 games, it's Barcelona that's winning. Barcelona won 6 games, and then there's been 1 draw, and Man United won 3. So that's surprising, that Man United are, for me, in my opinion, that's surprising that we've got form that's just as good as Barcelona in the last 16 games, because we know that Barcelona, they're going to win that La Liga, 8 points ahead, and then we're in 3rd place with our form, Xavi, he's had one more year than I think is it Xavi's second full season, Red Devil, that he's managing, or is it the third?
I think this is the second full season, yeah.
Second full
He
season.
came at the end of he came halfway through Coleman's when Coleman got sacked. Halfway through that, and then this is his stop the second full season, yeah.
So are you surprised that we've actually got, like, on paper, we've got similar form to the likes of Barcelona, who obviously they're 1 year ahead in their development. So that shows how good Ten Hag's been with this team.
It's difficult to really compare La Liga and the Premier League, in part because it wasn't that long ago when people were saying Xavi out because Barcelona dropped into Europa League. You know, like why Barcelona? Why? One of the big questions is you should ask is why Barcelona and United? This should be a Champions League game, a Champions League quarterfinal game, not a Europa League game, let alone a Europa League qualifier. Because that's what it is. It's a qualifier for the Europa League. You know, so there were a lot of Barcelona fans that weren't happy with the way it ended, because in Europe anyway, they were in the same group as Bayern. I think remember Bayern obviously destroyed them. Inter managed to get past them, and even they struggled against Pleisen. You know, so Barcelona's European form so far has not been great. In the league, however, it's different. Like I said, it's difficult to really say because, to be honest, the La Liga teams have not done particularly well. Aside from Real Madrid, who managed to go through, and they don't look particularly great right now. Atletico Madrid are out; they finished bottom. I don't think any other La Liga team, as far as I'm aware, I could be wrong about this. I think there's some Europa League teams that went for the Europa, but I can't remember what happened to Sevilla and Villarreal. I have to mind. But the point I'm trying to make is that are Barcelona doing well in La Liga because they are doing really well and they're playing really good football and they're filming development, or has La Liga gotten weaker? Was the point? Because if La Liga was stronger, why didn't La Liga teams show their credentials in the European Series? Even the Italian teams performed better than La Liga did, and you see with Napoli, AC Milan, etc. With the exception of Juventus, who have got their own issues going along the line. So, yeah, it's a difficult one to compare, and I like to think that it's probably head to head. We'll guess. We'll see what happens.
Eddie, you're on mute, by the way. Yeah.
Yeah, it's very debatable because sometimes, like, I just look at a game just for the sake of it, seeing like two teams go against each other, right? Because sometimes psychologically, teams from the Spanish league, yeah, they don't show up in the European competitions, but then again, they feel that they're more comfortable in the Spanish league where they start to perform. And I was watching Barcelona in their last two games against Sevilla and Villarreal. I think Villarreal were the better team. They had a lot of possession. I think at certain points in that game that I watched, where Barcelona they won just 1-0. Villarreal were putting together some nice transitions. I think they lacked a bit up top, but they were looking good in terms of possession. Their manager really tries to manipulate the ball. And we've seen Villarreal before when they had Emery. We saw when they were beating the likes of Bayern Munich, okay? There's some of these La Liga teams that have been good. And we've seen that they don't have the amount of money that the likes of Bayern Munich have or the Premier League teams like Man United have. So I think La Liga is still competitive because, like I said, Villarreal, man, they had no right to beat the likes of Bayern Munich. I forgot what knockout stage they got to. Was it quarterfinals or semis, something like that, last season? I don't know.
Who did? Villarreal.
Yeah.
It was the quarter. Yeah, it was the quarterfinals because they beat Bayern Munich in the quarters and then went on to the semis, and Liverpool then beat Villarreal, if I recall. Yeah.
Yeah. So yeah, Josh, I'll come to you then. I was going to ask you then. Are you happy with what Ten Hag's doing in terms of the team? Like I said, having similar form to the likes of Barcelona, who are a year ahead in their progression.
Well, yeah. Well, I'll touch on what Red Devil said. I'd say it's a combination of the two, in terms of La Liga being in a worse state and Barcelona improving. I think Barcelona's defense has had time to gel and become stronger. Obviously, you've got on paper, they've got Koundé, highly sought after by Chelsea. Obviously, Araujo's coming into his own. He's not suspended, is he? You've got Christensen, highly touted even before Chelsea. He's gone to Chelsea. Excel has gone to Barcelona. Obviously, you've still got Jordi Alba there, the veteran. So I think their defense has really had time to gel, and that's been the key. Obviously, you saw in the Champions League before, they were just shipping goals. The defense did look leaky. And in a similar fashion to United, with our defense, obviously the signings play a big part in that. I believe Casemiro, Varane, those two with their experience have been, vital in terms of us securing our defense and becoming a force defensively, which is what we are. So we've got Martinez there. But the worry is, when the other defenders come into play, is Maguire, obviously. Lindelof can't be relied upon. So hopefully we've got our strongest defense there for the game against Barca. But to touch on Ten Hag, Ten Hag, he obviously is doing very well. I think he's made some very good decisions.
Yeah.
Obviously, Ronaldo, he handled that. Everyone, debates about that, but I think it was the right decision for the team for him to go. I think for me,
really, Josh, I got to call you on that because me and you, we have back and forths about Ronaldo, and you were saying Ten Hag disrespected your boy.
Yeah, Eddie, my point on that was the respect which Ronaldo was treated with, and not just by Ten Hag, by the club as a whole, just because he's brought us so much success. The last time we won the Champions League, Ronaldo was our best player. A big part of our history. I just felt like he should have been treated with more respect.
But this was an old version, like I've said to you in conversations, man. This was a Ronaldo that was saying he was still in his prime. This guy's still thinking he should be treated with the same kind of respect that he had when he was younger. And like you were saying, he was winning Champions Leagues for us and stuff like that. Come on, man. The guy's what you call it, ego is still too big.
Well, yeah, that's neither here nor there. But I think him going has allowed Rashford to have more breathing space, because when you're the number 2 option, it's not always easy. And in that same breath, though, I believe Rashford has learned a lot from Ronaldo, definitely. So there's definitely positives as well from that relationship. But with Ronaldo there, I don't think we'd see Rashford playing the way he has been. And obviously, he's our main threat going forward. If we want to go, that's who we're going to expect it from. At the same time, though, I'd say we're a bit over-reliant on him going forward. Obviously, Weghorst, Anthony, I don't see too much threat from them in terms of goals. Obviously, Bruno blows hot and cold in terms of goals. So, maybe over-reliant on Rashford. But again, on the flip side, Barca having Dembele out is a big plus. But obviously, there's still other threats: Lewandowski, Gavi.
So, man, they got big players. But people in the chat keep getting your comments in. I just wanted to highlight what the Vucinator was saying. La Liga is weaker due to overspending money they haven't got. That's why they want the Super League. That's a big one, man. I mean, I might have to do a separate stream on the Super League. But just a quick point on that. I was on Red Devil Studios platform before, and I was thinking it could be a good competition to come through because they offer more prize money for teams. And, we know it's football, but it's also a business at the end of the day. At the end of the day, it's a business as well. And when you're comparing the prize money for, like, the Champions League, which I think is, 80 million? And then if you win the Super League, it's like you win, like, something ridiculous, like 400 million or something like that, 300 million. It's like it's going to be a no-brainer for some of these teams that are struggling for money. They're going to want bigger prize money. And I've said, when teams, like, especially in the Premier League, if you're Liverpool and you're paying for players like Nunez, 100 million, or Lukaku for Chelsea, 100 million, and then you're going into a competition like Champions League and you're only getting 80 million back. It's like, I know teams rely on revenue from the fans and stuff, but it's like, you'd want that bigger prize money. I don't know what your thoughts are on that. Red Devil, if you're still in here. Or I'll go to you, Josh.
Yeah, so it's a good point from Vucinator, overspending, but at the same time, you can look at the Premier League. Man City's current plight. You know, a lot of people are talking about cheating their way to success. You know, Chelsea, they're spending criminally at the moment. You know,
Yeah.
is that legal? Who
They're
knows?
finding loopholes in what they're doing, isn't it? I think
Yeah.
something about the way they offer long contract. I forgot what it is. There's some loophole that they're taking advantage of where it makes it legal to spend so much. And I think they're changing the rules to counteract people doing that now. But yeah, they're
Yeah,
taking
it's just
advantage.
it's a tough one, isn't it? Because obviously, you know, no matter how much you spend, it's if you spend the right way, and regardless on how much you spend, certain players you won't be able to just get just because you want them. You know, the Messis, the Neymars, you know, they will play where they want to play. So yeah, spending is a big issue, but just because you spend, it doesn't guarantee success. Man City, you know, they've dominated the Premier League, but they've still failed to win the Champions League in 6 years. So, you know, money doesn't guarantee anything.
That's
Sorry
true.
about
That's true. It's all right, Red Devil. We're gonna move on the show. Let's get going to some of the tactics. Xavi versus Ten Hag, man. And Ten Hag, the way he's coming, he spent like, what is it, 200 million and a bit, and he's got some of his possession players, but he's still got some of these counter-attacking players, and he's got them to play some of this high press possession football, and that's why I call him Stone Cold Ten Hag. And we see him do that kind of discipline. I always go back to when he dropped Rashford when he was on form, because this guy was late to a training session or press conference. Yeah, Rashford acknowledged that he was wrong, and I think it was against Wolves it was dropped, but the guy still came on and bagged the goal. Yeah, this guy's disciplining all of these players. Got Sancho to go and do some training by himself. The guy's come back and he's, you know what I mean, got a goal against Leeds. He's doing a bit better now, and yeah, it's gonna be so interesting to see how he tries to counteract what Xavi will do. I had to play that one because Xavi's nickname is the Puppet Master, aka La Computadora. It's gonna be Stone Cold Ten Hag versus the Puppet Master. I've got a few slides to show on this. But before I get into that, is there anything you guys see where, you know, Ten Hag has a chance with his high press, or whether Xavi's just like, because he's 1 year ahead in his development, does Ten Hag not stand a chance against what Xavi's doing? Josh, I'll come to you, bro.
Yeah, well, I think, of course, just with the players that we've got in our team, of course, we have a chance. You know, Rafa's on fire, Casemiro, Varane. I don't think it's realistic for us to expect to be able to dominate possession. That's just not going to happen. I think Barcelona have got the highest percentage of possession in La Liga. You just look at the players they've got in the midfield. You know, they're just all about possession. You know, De Jong, Busquets, Pedri. So I think that's to be expected, that they will control possession. But key for us, you know, keep tight, keep the defense watertight. Don't allow, you know, any easy chances. We need to be switched on. I'll talk about the goal. Who was that against? Yeah, Nketiah's goal against us when Wan-Bissaka switched off. We can't afford for any of those kind of mistakes. So if we keep the defense tight, obviously allow Barca to have the ball where it's not going to hurt us, and then obviously we've got the personnel to hurt them on the counter, absolutely, with Rashford on fire right now, and etc. Garnacho, obviously Bruno. Yeah. Mercurial, he can be a threat at times. So yeah, it will definitely be interesting.
So Red Devil, man. How Josh was mentioning some counter attack, man. Is that the way that we stand a chance, man?
It depends how we counterattack. I mean, I don't think you can cede possession to the ball to Barcelona completely. Otherwise, we'll have problems. It's Barcelona's philosophy. They're possession based. They're not holding to the ball, etc., etc. So, if it's counterattack in terms of like kind of like winning the ball quickly, 1-2 touch and then move, then that's different. But if it's kind of like, well, you know, we'll just give them the ball and then wait for opportunity, I just don't think that's a good idea, especially at the Camp Nou. So I would, I would not see possession completely. I would see if I don't think we can. I'd be interested to see what the midfield battle is. Because one of the things I think the two weaknesses I see in Barcelona, the one is just height, aerial thing. So we have them in the air. We've always had them in the air, which is one of the reasons I've never understood why teams don't just cross the ball. So, you know, if we were actually utilizing Weghorst could actually be a threat against Barcelona, like he was against Argentina in the World Cup. They just kept on spamming crosses to him, and then he got them down. He scored. I don't know why Manchester United aren't doing that, because that's especially against a team like Barcelona, where they're not that particularly tall.
It's really weird. I just gotta say real quickly, RDS. Someone was telling me from the Man United agenda. This guy called Rebel. He was saying that Weghorst prefers the ball to feet, and it's weird because you just said like, when he was used as a sub against Argentina, they were playing long balls to him because of that height. He's like, what is he, 6'6"?
I mean, yeah. I mean, he probably does. He probably does prefer ball to feet, and obviously in the box to go out defenders. Of course he does. So, but that still doesn't. You can still play ball to feet to striker, but like you still need to also cross them as well.
Yeah.
Like you can do both. Like you could have our midfield passing the ball to feet, but I expect from our wingers and our fullbacks, you've got a tall striker in the box, cross it into him. But we're not doing that. So that's one weakness. The other weakness is that even though maybe overall Barca midfield might technically be better, the lack of Busquets, someone who can sort of control things, slow things down, is a miss. But more importantly, I think the physicality in the Barca midfield will be missing. I think our midfield is a lot more physical. So Fred and Casemiro, to a certain extent Bruno, but certainly Fred and Casemiro are much more physically imposing. And if we have a referee that's actually likes games to go ahead instead of blowing after every single touch, I think we can cause that Barcelona midfielder problems if we physically impose ourselves on the Barcelona team and don't let them settle. That's what I mean by saying, if we just see possession, let Barcelona settle, I think that would be problematic to us. But if we kind of at least impose ourselves, I don't mean like going and playing the game and attacking football. I mean just making sure they don't settle down in the way that they play and then take opportunity to break. Then I think that's where United can win the game.
That is a great point, and you bring me to a slide that I wanted to show, because when I was on your channel yesterday, Red Devil, I was saying we need to take advantage of the weaknesses, which is the physical side. And I wanted to bring up this slide, which compares players such as Casemiro and De Jong. And if you look at the stats real close, the big ones, which come onto the back of what you're saying, Red Devil, is where De Jong has strengths in terms of the pass completion rate, 90%, right? Dribble success rate, 69%. But you see, with the tackles, 27, and clearances, 12. And that comes to my point on Casemiro. He's stronger, more tackles, 53, yeah? And in terms of clearances, more clearances than De Jong, 35. So you can see that Casemiro, he's a better defender than De Jong. Yeah, so that means obviously he's going to have more physical traits. And that's the way we can beat these guys. If like you're saying, Red Devil, if we rough them up, don't try and play them at their game, because like I said with De Jong, his dribbling accuracy, it shits on Casemiro. Like Casemiro's dribbling accuracy is 37% compared to De Jong's 69%. And then the pass completion, like I said, 90% for De Jong, and for Casemiro it's 78%. So you can see that they're better players, They're just better in terms of playing on the ball. So we need to play to our strengths in terms of the physical side, and I hope we do that. People in the comments, please get in how you think that Man United can beat Barcelona, or if you're a Barcelona fan, talk about how you think Barcelona will beat Man United.
Apparently Bayern are cooking PSG right now. Bayern are cooking them. I should need to put a game on the background, because they're getting cooked in Paris, man, which isn't a surprise. But
what's the score?
It's still 0-0, but just the way they're playing. So, but yeah, I'm gonna just get the game on the background.
Okay, but I'm saying a shout out to Now Kane. Big ups, Eddie. I am full of waffle, and I'm feeling in waffle mode, bro. Yeah, it's been a bit of a waffling stream so far, but we're getting into the analysis. Thanks for checking in here. But yeah, everyone, get in what you think will be the deciding tactics. How will both of these teams play? You know, how can Man United win? How can Barcelona win? But let me get rid of this slides. So yeah, you guys were talking about how both teams win. Let me just go through some slides. I probably should have brought these up before you guys went into your analysis because it would have set you guys up a bit easier. But we've seen the starting lineup for Barcelona. They have Ter Stegen. So first of all, they play 4-3-3. Ter Stegen, Araujo, Christensen centre backs, Koundé and Alba on the wings, De Jong holding midfielder, Kessie and Pedri as eights, Rafinha on the right, Lewandowski in the middle, and because Dembele is injured, they play Gavi on the left. And when I was seeing them in their transition, they look like they missed a bit of speed, but they were doing well with Gavi. Let me move on to like one of the transitions that they do, which I was really scared of, man. The way they do their high press, they get the fullbacks to obviously move forward, and then they took in De Jong, who's just like, this guy's good at in terms of picking up the ball from the back two of Araujo and Christensen. Fills in to make it a back three, and then it goes to two in midfield with Pedri, and Kessie sometimes gets up front to accompany Lewandowski. So sometimes they have like a two up front, and then like you can see, Rafinha tucks in, gets him behind. He offers the kind of speed in behind as well, with Koundé also overlapping. Because the likes of Dembele is out, sometimes Gavi will tuck in, if you can see there, tucks into midfield and helps Pedri out. They link up, and Alba will get forward. Or sometimes, I think, they play Balde. He's played more games. He'll get forward on the left. And Lewandowski, man, he cooks up front, man. He cooks up front as well. So that kind of transition, man, I find it's going to be scary. It's going to be so scary. And I've got some Man United slides to show as well. But have you guys got any thoughts on Barcelona's transition? Josh, I'll go to you.
Yeah, obviously, it's a scary proposition, but with the personnel that they've not got, obviously I didn't know until Red Devil said Busquets is out, Dembele's out. I think it'll make it easier to manage. Yeah.
Well, have you been watching Barcelona that much? And do you admire the way Xavi transitions these players to do this high press?
I've not seen so much of them, but yeah, I have seen the intensity with which they're playing. So yeah, they've been doing well. Obviously, Kessie, he's a physical player. So I think for us, Casemiro is key, because without him, we can look a completely different team, as we've seen in the Premier League. So hopefully Casemiro is fit and well for that game.
Milan have scored, by the way, just so you know. Milan are 1-0 up against Spurs.
Well, Spurs are going to be Spursy, man. You know what I mean? The way they lost to Leicester in that last game, was it 4-1? I'm not surprised. I said it would be probably a 0-0, but yeah, I'm not surprised that they're losing.
Spurs need to rebuild.
Yeah, they do. They need someone to come in and do a project like Pochettino did. Actually work on the football, and not try and like do a quick fix. Because Spurs, they don't have the heritage to have like, a manager come in and just try and get players just to win and snatch, cups. They don't have the heritage, man. They don't have it. So yeah, man. But coming to the way Man United play, I got some slides for them as well. And yeah, we saw against Leeds. This is the team that played against Leeds, right? They played 4-2-3-1. Dallo, Maguire, Shaw, Malassa were playing. Sabitzer and Fred in midfield as the two holding midfielders. Then we saw Sancho on the right, Bruno attacking mid, Rashbappe on the left, as I call him, because obviously I'm going to go through his stats later, man. The guy is just cooking. And then Weghorst up front. Obviously, we saw that wasn't really working. and we saw Ten Hag do some transitions. He weirdly tried a 3-2-2-3 or 3-2-4-1, and it didn't really work. So we had the defense with Dalot tucking in, Maguire and Shaw moving over to form the back three, and then weirdly he pushed up Fred to be attacking with Bruno, and then Malacia was holding with Sabitzer, and then he had Rashford and Sancho on both wings and Weghorst up front. I don't know if you guys were thinking that was working against Leeds. From my point of view, we weren't controlling the game. There was like a discrepancy between who was coming towards the ball and who was running away from the ball. Didn't create enough attacking play. I remember talking to Josh before. We were just having chances with Bruno, and Bruno was just wasn't doing well, was he, Josh? I don't know if you saw this transition against Leeds, and what did you think of it?
Yeah, so obviously the changes made were well done, weren't they, by Ten Hag, especially to turn that game around at the end. Again, in terms of Barcelona, I am worried about Weghorst disappearing. I think Bruno will be very important in that game. If he doesn't have a good game, I question where Rashford's going to get service from. We know Fred doesn't have the quality to create play and make assists. He's more of a combative midfielder. Obviously, it's a bit, he's quality, but more deep lying, finding his feet. Sancho's out on the right, so I think Bruno's going to be very important that he has a good game so that he can service Rashford, so he can have some chances, because I don't have so much hope in Weghorst, unfortunately. And Sancho, yeah, he has. I know he scored against Leeds and whatnot, but still a little bit off the pace in my opinion. In the last game against Leeds, struggled to beat him.
I don't know what you thought. Do you think it was because I didn't see him dribble enough? Yeah,
he couldn't be a player, could he? Unfortunately, he did try, but obviously Sancho is not the quickest player. He doesn't have lightning pace. We saw in the Bundesliga, the league has a slower pace, so he was able to dominate more with his technical play, and obviously his teammates helped. So I think he needs to get back to that, because he's struggling to beat men for pace, isn't he?
That's true. Red Devil, I don't know if you got any thoughts on that. Do you think this kind of transition, like if it's worked on properly, that it could have some potential to actually work
against Barcelona?
Against Barcelona, and then just like in general. But yeah, could you see this happening against Barcelona?
Well, for starters, part of the problem is that that personnel is going to be different. So which causes problems. So because Sabitzer obviously is not going to play, so you then think, okay, so who would then play in this? I guess Casemiro goes in there where Sabitzer is with Malacia, if he's going to bring on and obviously Maguire won't be playing. It'll be Varane.
Maguire better not be playing, man.
I imagine it won't be. It'll be Varane, possibly Luke Shaw, with either Wan-Bissaka or Dalot, and then like I said, Malacia on the left. I don't know. I think it can, it can work, but I just don't think that Ten Hag will go this route against Barcelona.
Right. Let me actually get to the slides where it showed like how we did beat Leeds, because that's actually a better slide to show. Because this, like I said, this wasn't really working. Like I'm sure. I think this is the right kind of transition. But yeah, we had Martinez come on for Malacia, and he was helping Maguire, because Maguire was just making mistakes, man. He was trying to play like Virgil van Dijk, and he wasn't spraying the ball properly. He looked like crap. I'm surprised that he didn't come off, but I think it's because he's the captain. But anyway, we went for Martinez, Maguire at the back, and then Dalot and Shaw were pushing on as the fullbacks. Sabitzer was holding with Fred. And then, obviously, we saw Weghorst drop into the number 10 position instead of being taken off like the previous Leeds game. And he was looking good, like for, what was it, 10 or 20 minutes that he was playing there. He was linking up with Fred and Sabitzer. Got the assist for Sancho. We saw Bruno, who wasn't working in the middle, moved on to the right. Garnacho, the wonder kid, came onto the left. and obviously Rash Bappe again coming through with another stat, man, getting another header, and he moved up front. So do we see a possibility of maybe Ten Hag starts with this formation? I want to see Ten Hag get it right from the start. Obviously, it's hard.
You know, what I would love. You know, what I'd love. I would love it if he actually plays Palestri on the right wing.
I'm going to get into that because I've got him on one of my slides. Yeah, yes. I've got him starting on the right. But yeah, carry on.
I would love it. I would like, based on this team, I would. What I would change is I would try playing Sancho where Weghorst is in the number 10 position and see what happens there. Because I think that, you know, unless Ten Hag is going to go down the route of just we cross in and deliver the boxes to Weghorst, which I've not seen any evidence of that yet. I've not seen any evidence that that's the way that he wants to play. If that's the way he wants to play with Barcelona, I'm fine with that. Put Weghorst to the number 9 and just lob in crosses to him, and I think we could potentially win that way. But if he's not going to do that, I would put Weghorst on the bench to come on, play Sancho behind Rashford, and then play Palestri on the right there. That's what I do. You can play Garnacho on the left wing that way.
Right, big up to AD for getting in here. He was on your show yesterday. It was good to meet him in the first stream. But yeah, man, I hope you hit the like as well. Big up to you. Yeah. So I think what you're saying, RDS, is similar to my slide that I'm going to show now. Yeah, I'm hoping we see this team. I'm hoping we see. Obviously, I think it's going to be Ten Hag starting with the 4-2-3-1. Hopefully Dalot on the right, Lindelof and Varane, and Malacia on the left, Casemiro and Fred holding, and then yeah, like you're saying, RDS, hopefully Palestri comes in, and then we'll have Bruno attacking mid, and then Sancho on the left, and Rash Bappe up front. But in terms of the transitions, I think what you were saying is similar to what my slide here is saying, because I hope that Ten Hag tries to do that transition of going to 3 at the back, and then two holding midfielders, and then 2 people in midfield in the like 2 10s in the midfield, and then the wingers overlapping with Rash Bappe up front. So let me try and explain this properly. So hopefully, yeah, Wan-Bissaka starts at right back, Varane and Shaw. And then hopefully we see like Malacia get forward on the left, yeah, with Fred and Casemiro holding. And then, yeah, I'm sure you were saying, RDS, for Sancho to tuck in. Like, I think he could do well if he tucks in next to Bruno from the left wing, and they link up and they try and get balls into Rashford up front. And then we can have Palestri with his pace on the right. And then, obviously, if that's not working, we've got the likes of Garnacho that can come on and substitute in for the likes of Palestri. So I don't know, Josh. I've not asked you in a bit, man. Could you see this possible transition happening?
Yeah, I think it would be interesting. I don't know if Ten Hag would go for that. You know, starting Palestri. I wish he would give him more of a chance, but obviously with him being a young player, even with Garnacho, you know, I'd love for him to start, but I feel like it's more likely he'd go with the older, more experienced players, and then, you know, bring them off the bench. Garnacho has proven how dangerous he is. I think he's fearless for someone his age.
Yeah,
he's got pace. He's direct. He's got quality. So yeah, we'll just have to see how it plays out. You know, if he's going to fight fire with fire, if he's going to try and sit back. Obviously, I think what we need to be wary of is we've not spoken about him much. I think someone, Bart mentioned it earlier, Lewandowski will be the difference. I think he's someone which we need to pay very special attention to, because if we give him any kind of breathing room, we know what he's capable of. You know, many have argued he should have won the Ballon d'Or, one of the most lethal strikers.
Yeah, I mean, Bart saying Lewandowski will be the difference between the clubs at the end of the tie. I mean, I've got a head-to-head that I did share it before, and that is the stats of, obviously, Rashford versus Lewandowski, and I've seen Lewandowski's not scored in the last few games, but he's got 23 goals in 27 appearances. That's amazing, man. Like,
well, we know his track record, don't we? We know what he's done over the years. He's already established, in terms of one of the great strikers of our time. So
yeah, but we see Rashford, similar stats. I mean, he's played more games, 34 games, 21 goals in 34 appearances. I mean, I want to be obviously just hoping Man United's guys do better, but Lewandowski's experience, it's more likely gonna have him have more advantage over the likes of Rashford. Okay, obviously this is a home tie as well, so they're just gonna have the advantage. Hopefully Rashford can keep his scoring record going. But we're going to the new camp, man. That's going to be an intimidating atmosphere, even for experienced guys to go there. You know what I mean? Rashford, what is he, 25 now? But Lewandowski's he's just a veteran. So yeah. Anyway, people in the chat, keep getting in your comments. Mention who you think the threats are. Get in your predicted teams. Vujinator is saying Lever is good, but we got Rash Bappe. Yes, man. Get on with the nickname. Everyone, get this trending, man. Get it on Twitter. Let's get going with that. We're saying Rash Bappe. Surely got look out for the hottest striker in the World Cup. I'm sure he's putting up some of the best stats in Europe. It's got to be, man. Especially in terms of the consecutive games.
Yeah, more goals than anyone in the top 5 leagues since the World Cup.
The guy's cooking, man. The guy's straight.
My
cooking.
goodness. Jeez.
What's going on, RDS?
No, I'm being distracted. I'm just Neymar, man. Just this guy.
That's Josh's boy you're going to talk about, by the way.
Let's talk about it. Like,
I don't know what is Neymar slacking.
No, he's just doing his thing. It's like he went down holding his face. I bet not being touched his face, and it was just like laying down there for the last 2 minutes until the referee stopped the game and walked all the way over to like. I'm just like, just anyway, it's fine. It's okay. He's 31 years old, and I don't know what his legacy is. That's a debate for when he retires, because I don't care how talented the player is. Like, you have to, what is it that what have you done? And ultimately, all Neymar has is a CL, which belongs to him, Messi, and Suarez. That's about it.
He was top scorer, RDS, I may add, in that Champions League win. He was the top scorer that year. So
he's a one-season wonder. Good to know.
Oh.
Good to know.
We may have to have that debate another time, because there's so many stats and performances we can get into. But like, my view on Neymar is that he's for his talent that he has as potential, he's not done as much as he could do. The amount of games I've seen where he's diving or getting booked, like I was saying on Red Devil Studios' stream last time, he was fouling one player, got booked, didn't acknowledge that, okay, I should be careful not to do anything. And then 2 minutes later, he went and did some dribbling in the box and dived and got sent off for diving. If you're an experienced player, you can't be getting sent off for diving. You got to be better than that, man. How many times have we seen Messi get sent off for diving, or Lewandowski get sent off for diving?
It's much bigger of a fail because there's VAR now. So it's like, I don't understand. There's VAR now, so VAR can see it. They can see, why are you still diving? Like, we can see it now. So I don't know at what point he didn't think that someone would see what I was doing and then let the referee know. It's strange, so, but it is what it is. That's Neymar for you. So, but it is what it is.
Josh has got some support. Vujinator giving you a thumbs up, so he's on your side.
Yeah. Well, Neymar is no doubt Neymar's theatrical, but for me, I try to judge people on their football. I'm not trying to judge their morals and their actions and their personality. At the end of the day, I'm watching football, not how
it's affecting his football. That's the problem.
If you can talk about that, then
if you're rolling on the floor for 5 minutes on a football field, is that affecting your football?
Yeah, it is, man. it's histrionics that is taken away from the efficiency
And-
of this game. I think Vucinator was agreeing with you, Josh, but now he's saying totally agree with Red Devil. So
I don't hate the guy. I don't hate the guy. Don't be wrong, but it's just like it's one of the players where like there are a lot of the especially because he sort of came in the beginning era of the kind of what I call social media football era. He was kind of one of footballers that came in that kind of era. Messi and Ronaldo kind of came in just pre that and then were carried into it. But Neymar for me was that kind of, so for me, a lot of, had Neymar, for example, been around 1991, etc., if he wasn't delivering consistently, he would have just been, people would say, yeah, he's talented, but he would have been put on the back burner. But because he's now in the social media era, people can focus a lot on his ability, his potential ability anyway, clips, etc. the times, which is fair enough. But they don't really focus on like what his achievement in the game. Like, because you can watch like 10, 15 compilations of seeing him skin someone and be like, oh, this dude's world class. Okay, fine.
Yeah, he seems to get too engrossed in trying to beat players. Because I'll see him sometimes. You beat one player, and then you go back and try and beat the same player again.
In the 90s, 99, you had to achieve more to be remembered. The point I'm trying to make is you had to achieve more to be remembered. Yeah. Back pre-social media. Now, post-social media, you don't really have to achieve anything as long as like you look good in the eye. And that for me is where I'm in disagreement. That doesn't mean he's not talented. It's just that there are much more talented players earlier that had to achieve more to be recognized to the level of stats that Neymar has. Like, I mean, R9, for goodness sake. Like people comparing R9 to this dude. Like what R9 had to achieve and his ability, and we're saying R9 and Neymar comparable? Oh, come on, guys. Yeah. Come on, man. Come on.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know if Josh, you're going to come back on that, but R9,
I don't know he made that comparison. I've never heard that comparison before.
But we saw R9 had more like, what do you call it? He was more responsible in what he was doing, man, in terms of not arguing with refs or diving and stuff like that.
And even that, it's the achievement. What he R9 achieved with Brazil, what he achieved, you know. So that's what I mean, you know. So maybe not Josh has made that comparison. I know we're sidetracking, and thank God you haven't, which is good. I have seen those comparisons between certain Neymar stands before, so it's not general consensus. The overall point I am just also trying to make is just that, you know, for me, if you're going to be putting that echelon of world class, it has to go with world class achievement as well. I just think Neymar has done that. So
I think we need to talk about the teams that R9 played in as well. If you look at the Brazilian national team at the time as well, you know, everything can be taken out of context. Obviously, it's easier to win with that team, isn't it?
Yeah, but Neymar's been in on a club level. Has been in good teams. So.
And look what he's done on the club level. He's, you know, won Champions League, won multiple Ligas.
Won Champions League.
A lot of players haven't. Still done it. Top scorer.
Okay, guys. I think we're gonna have to come back there and do this. We need to come back to the stream at hand, which is Barcelona, Man United. I think we're gonna have to do part 2 on this debate here because I've talked to Josh a lot in terms of criticizing Neymar, and Josh has had a lot of good points in terms of defending Neymar. But we'll move on. Aaron, thanks to you for keeping the like count. 21 likes. Please keep hitting the like. Don't make me play Tyrese again. Don't make me beg.
Please.
Had to do it. Keep hitting that free like. We're gonna wrap up soon. People, get in your predictions. I'll read that one more comment about Neymar. Who's saying Neymar not in the top 30, 40 players in the world standard. I don't think that's true. It's a bit hard.
In terms of now, we mean currently, we mean like over his career. You can't say career.
Well, he's going to be in like a top 10 at least, or top 5. Man, come on.
What, now in 2023?
Yeah, I mean, in terms of what he has. Well, top 10 there. I mean,
no. I mean, are you talking about like in 2023 now? Do you mean his overall career? Overall career, I agree. In 2023, there are definitely 10 players in the world right now than better form than Neymar.
Yeah, current form at the start of the season, no, but currently, yeah.
Yeah, come on, currently now, like, yeah, come on.
Yeah, since the World Cup, he's not been.
I don't know. It's debatable because
Not the season though.
yeah.
So,
I don't know. It depends how we measure that because like Neymar has one stuff. Like when he was at Barcelona, he was doing well. You know,
that's what I'm saying. If you're talking about his career, that's a different argument. My reading of that was that, like, right now, in terms of 2023, this season, I think it's reasonable to say he's not top 10.
Okay, you see, this is why it's Eddie's football waffle, because we have been so distracted by a completely separate debate.
We need to score predictions.
Let's come to score predictions. I didn't really do predicted lineups properly, but yeah, RDS, you were kind of agreeing with. Let me get my slide up again. You're kind of agreeing with this one, innit? You wanted Palestri to start, right?
But there's what I want. But there's what I want. And what will probably happen. So what will probably
go through both.
So what I want is Varane, Shaw, Malacia, Wan-Bissaka, Casemiro, Fred, Bruno, and then Palestri. Actually, Palestri, Garnacho, and Rashford. That's what I'd actually put Palestri, and then I would drop Weghorst. That's what I would want. And you know, you can bring. I still think I'm at the point with Sancho where I think we need to bring Sancho back in gradually. I as an impact sub, it's like Weghorst, yes. As a starter right now, I'm still not 100% convinced he's mentally there yet.
But real quickly, RDS, don't you think when Garnacho started last time, kind of looked a bit iffy against Leeds? Not really making the right decisions. Bruno set him up with quite a few chances.
Yeah, but he still played more games than Sancho, though. He's still more familiar with the team than Sancho. And I think everyone was kind of going by, oh, yeah, Sancho scored that goal. That means Sancho's back, blah, blah, blah. But that happened when he was out beforehand. He sat down Milner against Liverpool, and then basically just disappeared and then got worse, you know. So I don't know why Sancho was out. It's still, I suspect that there was some sort of mental health situation, stuff going on. So I just feel like rather than just ignoring everything that's happened with Sancho for the last several months, just like Martial in a way, Sancho also needs to be managed coming sort of back. So rather than expecting him to sort of ball and come and play 90-minute games, I think that he should also come back in the team, whether that's playing the first 60 minutes. For me, I would say give him like the last 30 minutes. So you can bring on Weghorst, you can bring on Sancho to give us an impact rather than him play 60 minutes. And if he has a bad game, he feels despondent, and then that carries on into the next game. And then before you know it, he's being dropped again. You know, I don't feel there's as much pressure when you come in as an impact sub, especially if United are ahead or drawing. It just gives, if you understand what I mean, like I just feel like let's take the pressure from him, ease him back in 20, 30 minutes in the game. And if he scores like he did against Leeds, that's the way to build his confidence rather than expecting him to just ball in the first 60, 65 minutes, you know. So that's why I would do that, whereas Garnacho doesn't have that problem, obviously, per se.
Okay. Josh, have you been thinking of your team? I mean, do you agree with like the team I've got up there? Do you agree with what I've got up there? Do you think Palestri might come in? You know, I mean, the guy's got La Liga experience, World Cup experience. You know, we might want to see him start. Do you see Sancho on the left?
Yeah, no, I'd love for Palestri to be given a chance, but I just don't see Ten Hag going for that. Again, it kind of depends on his perspective on the Europa League, whether it's a must-win or if he wants to focus on the Prem to secure that top four. Obviously, if he does want to focus on the Prem, that could affect the team that he selects. But yeah, I don't think I just personally don't think he'll go for Palestri in such a big game, even though I'd love him to.
Do you see like Weghorst starting up front, or maybe in the number 10?
I don't know. He does have a thing for Weghorst, doesn't he? He's obviously brought him over, an ex-Burnley player. Doesn't obviously not the most gifted. So yeah, he clearly does have a thing for Weghorst. So just with that being said, you know, you probably will put him in there, won't he? I don't know.
I don't want to see Weghorst, man. I just don't think he's really gonna have any effect starting as the number 10. I think Barcelona would be just too good on the ball. I just think we're going to have players that are more experienced than that, because I don't want to see Weghorst getting frustrated saying shit like this.
Shit.
You know what I mean? The guy gets too isolated. He doesn't really link up from the start. So I think we've got to have Rashford up front, a.k.a. Rashbappe. We can't have the frustration of seeing Weghorst just try and knock the ball down to nobody. You know what I mean? I don't think he starts.
I like the look of that team, definitely. Rashford up front, Bruno, Sancho, both got quality on the ball in terms of weight of pass. And just try and feed Rashford. Obviously, Casemiro, Fred, solid duo there. Brazilian brothers. But yeah, I definitely like the look of the team you've put on the screen. But it's just whether, Ten Hag will take that risk and, go for something so drastically different when he has seen success in recent months in the Premier League. So.
Right, everyone, get your predictions for the lineups in there. And also, obviously, get in your score predictions. I'm going to go to that now. I've seen Bill Baggio is already saying he sees a 2-2. It is realistic to see goals go in, because as well as Barcelona having the domination of the domination of the ball and being able to score against low block, Man United can score on the counter attack. But I don't know. I'm not sure Man United are going to have enough, even though Casemiro comes back. I don't think they're going to have enough in there. But for my prediction, I think I go Barcelona win 2-1. Josh, I'll come to you for your prediction.
So is this first leg at the Nou Camp?
Yeah.
It's a tough one. I'm gonna go for I think it'll be a low scoring game, to be honest. I think especially with Dembele out, I'm gonna go 1-0 Barcelona.
Right. Fans in the chat are not going to be happy with the pessimism. You're supposed to be United.
Well, of course, obviously,
I'm supposed to be as well, so I'm going to get flack. Yeah, go on.
Yeah, hopefully second leg we can turn that around. If we keep the score low, obviously going back to Old Trafford with the atmosphere and the crowd on our side, I think if we keep it to a draw or a 1-0 loss, I think definitely we'd feel good about our chances going back to Old Trafford.
Okay. Yeah, Red Devil, I'll come to you for your prediction. Just whenever you need to head off, just you know what I mean? It's whatever you want. But yeah, what's your prediction, mate?
So I think probably 1-1. I think we can get the draw. I think that if we can just kind of try and keep it tight, because to be honest, outside of Barcelona starting 11, they don't actually have that much depth on the bench, and they have, although their defending has been really good, actually much like United in a way, they actually have been struggling to score goals. If Lewandowski and Rafinha aren't cooking, really, they don't really have much else in the way of like attackers, really. So I think if we can keep them tight, and especially by, like I said, potentially bringing on Sancho or Garnacho if he comes on, some form of pace towards the end, I think will cause them problems, because they do tend to, and I was speaking to Elias about this when I was on his channel in Barca preview, where I was saying that after 65 minutes you can see that Barca they start to get more tired. So if we are going to make subs, fast-paced subs, you do want to probably bring on, whether it's a Garnacho or Sancho or Palestra or whatever, in that half to basically wear them down a bit, because they don't really have a lot of depth on the bench or any real game chambers, really. So I think 1-1. I think that Rashford is just in form right now. I just think somehow, some way, he'll just score a goal. And the way he's scoring goals, because he's scoring headers now.
Yeah, that's 2 in a row. That's 2 games,
well,
man.
And they're good headers. So yeah. I somehow, some way, I think Rashford will score. But I don't see us keeping a clean sheet, because I still think there's a bit of with now Luke Shaw playing against Varane, we might be a little bit what's the word? Our back four might be a little bit. I'm not entirely sure. So, but at the same time, at the same time, I haven't seen Casemiro and United. I feel like I haven't seen Casemiro and United shirt for ages now, even though it's not been that long.
I think it's just 2 games.
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
Like a month.
But I think if United are going to win this game, it's going to be because of those 2 players. It's going to be because of Casemiro, and it's going to be because of Rashford if we're going to get something from this game. So I predict 1-1.
Right. Vucinator saying 1-1 or 2-1 United. Yeah, Vucinator was in on the United forum on your stream last time, and he said I was pessimistic. Go ahead out now, yeah.
Peace. Thank
you.
you.
But anyway, plug yourself before you go. I've got the link in the description. Give yourself a plug.
Yes, please. So I also run a Manchester United channel. It's called Red Devil Studio. It's Red Devil Studio. I'm RDS. And I'm also on Twitter. We United X. So yeah, subscribe if you can. I go live as well. And thanks for having me on the show, Eddie. I really appreciate it.
Thanks for taking the time, boss.
Take care, guys. See you later. See you guys later. Take care, Josh, as well. See you.
So yeah, everyone that's still in the chat, just get in your questions, get in your predictions. We're gonna be signing off maybe next 5 minutes, but yeah, I mean we've been realistic with our predictions. Like I was saying before, it's just going to be a hard game for us to actually take seriously, because we've got the Carabao Cup coming on soon as well. Carabao Cup, yeah, I think, is it after the second leg? Like the Carabao Cup is just like a few days after the Barcelona game. I'm trying to check now. Josh, I don't know if you actually know when.
Not sure on the dates, but obviously, yeah, trophies are a big focus right now, aren't they? Seeing as we've not won one since Mourinho. So
yeah, how long is that? Is that what, 5-6 years now?
Yeah, so it's definitely been a while. I think the fans are hungry for another trophy.
Yes. So basically, yeah, we got Barcelona on the 16th in 2 days, and then 3 days later, Man United versus Leicester. And then 4 days later, Man United versus Barcelona. And after that, 2 days later, no, actually, the Brentford game is postponed. So 3 days after the Man United versus Barcelona second leg is the cup final. Like, Josh, what would you like to see, man? Because obviously, if you're in the final already of one cup, surely you go for that, even though I think Europa League would be more special to win. It's like it's going to be harder to win that one than it is to win the Carabao Cup. So surely you just put all your eggs into the Carabao Cup basket. I don't know what you think.
I think it's a tough predicament. It's definitely one which we want. You know, we want to be involved in multiple competitions at this stage. That's what Man United should be. That's what we always have been. But yeah, in terms of the Europa League, I think in terms of that being more desirable than the Carabao, yeah, but not considerably. I think the Europa League is always a reminder of why you're not in the Champions League. So, of course, it would be nice to win that, but, you know, who really talks about, who really remembers the last time we won the Europa League? I don't think people really care about that. Obviously, the Champions League is the holy grail when it comes to tournaments. So yeah, I think obviously we're in a good position now in the league. That has to be the main focus, to maintain that and ensure that we do finish in the top 4. Anything can happen. At the same time, we want to keep confidence high. So to keep confidence high, you need to keep winning. You need to keep playing well. So we can't just down tools. So yeah, a difficult predicament, a juggling act of sorts, but one which I think Ten Hag will relish. You know, we couldn't have asked to be in a better position at this stage of the year.
Are you confident you'll rotate properly? Yeah, and obviously not burn out the team, because it did happen against Villa. Like, I think it was how many games ago? About 10, 15 games ago. Kept playing the same team and they just were burnt. So hopefully he doesn't just compromise everything, because you can compromise everything by playing the same team every time. You could just have a burnt out team in the Carabao Cup, and then burnt out against Barcelona, and then burnt out in the FA Cup, and you win nothing.
Yeah, and if you look at the squad depth, it's not ideal, is it? You don't like the prospect of Maguire stepping in for vital Premier League games because Varane's injured, or
Bro,
Martinez is burnt out.
Maguire is the only defender to have expected mistakes per game. This guy
Yeah,
is
and
terrible. Against Leeds, did you see him, how bad he was in terms of trying to pass
wow.
back to the keeper, getting pressed, trying to, like I said earlier, trying to spray the ball to left and right like Virgil van Dijk. Terrible. It's like, we've got to be realistic. If we've got people like that coming in, you're not going to be winning all the cups.
What can you say? And obviously, you know, there will be teams breathing down our necks. You can't write off, you know, a team like Liverpool, Chelsea have spent, you know, a crazy amount. So we can't write off anyone. We need to really keep our foot on the gas in the Premier League and ensure that we keep getting these wins because, you know, nothing's guaranteed.
I think we have said a lot of waffle today, but it's been, for the majority, I think it's been good waffle. Everyone in the chat, thanks for supporting us, getting in your comments. I try to go through everything. It's hard to balance guests, then balance the technical analysis, and then keep coming back to you guys. But especially thanks to the Visionator, we're getting in here. Bill Baggio, we're getting in your comments. Aaron for keeping up the like count. Thanks to you. Thanks to Bart. He just keeps mentioning Klopp. And I actually hope you guys keep Klopp because I respect him. Hopefully, it's one more year, but I don't want Liverpool to do well. It's kind of a conundrum for me, Ben. So, yeah, thanks to everyone still that has been in here. Niall, thanks again to you, mate. But yeah, we're going to wrap it up there. This has been a great live preview. Just keep your notifications on for when I'll do the next one. Might see some animation on the channel. And Josh, I don't know if you're going to be free in the future. We're going to have to get you on for this Neymar debate that we sidetracked on, bro.
Yeah. Hopefully, Eddie. Thanks for having me on, mate. It's been a pleasure. Thanks to you guys in the chat. Definitely some of the best content out there on YouTube. Eddie's Football Waffle. Great animation integrated into his videos. Love the humor, which always comes with it. A lot of these talk shows I find quite monotonous. I can get bored easily. So yeah, I really appreciate you having me on. It's been a blast.
Cool. Before we come off, I just gotta give a shout out to one extra person getting in here. Looks like it says Red Devil Legendary Apex. Kavicha Kvaratskhelia is the player United should go for. This guy's good for Napoli, isn't it, man?
Yeah.
I don't know how realistic that would be because come on, he's about to win a Scudetto with Napoli, so they look like they're going to keep going with their dominance of that league. I think they're 10 points ahead or something like that. So we have a lot of money to get him to Man United.
He's quality, but he would want to play where Bruno plays. You know that number 10 playmaker. So,
is it? I thought he's more of a winger. He's more of a number 10.
Yeah, he's more of a. I feel like he does start out on the left, but he's definitely that's the person you want, you know, dominating the ball, creating chances. He's created a lot for us, man. So
he's going against your boys' team, Roma, against Jose's team. That volley.
Oh yeah. He's on fire, isn't he, Osman? So
yeah, I think Kvaratskhelia got the assist for that. I think it was him anyway. Nice cross from the left. Well, yeah, man, the guy is on fire, man.
Yeah.
Big up to Rich Sports getting in here. Yeah, we're gonna wrap it up there anyway. I've taken quite a bit of my boys' time. Yeah, Josh, thanks again for being on.
Thanks, guys. Catch you later.
Head out. One more comment. Was it Lou is on next level? Oh, Lewandowski is on next level. Rashford can't match. He has to work. He has so much work that needs to be done. We're gonna see. Confidence can transcend the difference.
What you're saying is Rashford's not on Lewandowski's level yet, which obviously, you know, half a season doesn't put you on Lewandowski's level. So that's fair enough.
Yeah. Anyway, okay, we're going to wrap up there. Thanks again, Josh.
Cheers, Eddie. Cheers,
everyone in the chat, big up. Hit the like on your way out if you haven't. All right. Peace.